Welcome back, everyone. Today we're looking at the supply curve, what it shows, how it differs for individuals and markets, and what causes it to shift. The supply curve shows the relationship between the price of a good and the quantity supplied, how much producers are willing and able to sell at each price. As the price rises, the quantity supplied usually increases. That's called the law of supply. Higher prices give producers more incentive to bring goods to market. When we graph supply, price goes on the vertical axis and quantity on the horizontal. The curve slopes upward from left to right, showing that positive relationship. Each point on the curve shows how much of a good a producer is willing to sell at a specific price, assuming all other factors stay constant. Now, just like with demand, we can talk about individual supply and market supply. Individual supply is one producer's willingness to sell at various prices. Market supply adds up all the individual suppliers in a market. It's the total quantity of a good that all producers combined are willing to sell at each price. For example, if one farmer offers 100 bushels of corn at $5 and another offers 200 bushels, the market supply at $5 is 300 bushels. Here's a question for you. If more farmers enter the corn market, what happens to the market supply curve? It's important to distinguish between a movement along the supply curve and a shift of the entire curve. A movement happens when price changes. A shift happens when something other than price changes, such as production costs, technology, or the number of sellers. Let's go over the main determinants of supply. These include input prices, technology, expectations, the number of sellers, and government policies like taxes or subsidies. If input costs, like wages or materials, fall, it becomes cheaper to produce. The supply curve shifts rightward, showing increased supply. But when input costs rise, or when new regulations increase production expenses, the supply curve shifts leftward, showing a decrease in supply. Improvements in technology also increase supply. For example, if a new machine makes it faster to produce electric cars, more cars can be made at every price. Producers' expectations about future prices matter too. If firms expect higher prices in the future, they might withhold some production now, shifting current supply to the left. Alright, let's jump into question 2. Suppose the price of steel goes up. Steel is a key ingredient for building cars. What happens to the supply curve for cars? Does it shift? So remember, price changes cause movements along the supply curve, while changes in input costs, technology, expectations, the number of sellers, or policies cause the entire supply curve to shift.